So the Diablo 4 beta is just about to drop as soon as this video goes live. It'll be dropping 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're watching this video when I'm dropping it, then I will be streaming on Twitch the entirety of the beta for the most part. I'll be streaming basically until we get to max level, maybe on all three classes. We'll see how long that actually takes. But that's what we're going over in this video. We're going to talk about the XP and how it works, as well as all the things that you might want to do in regards to leveling up, because there's actually a lot of hidden mechanics that you do not know about XP unless you've played the actual game. Without further ado, let's dive into it. All right, so we're going to dive into a lot of the information now. Most of the information here is really going to be regarding XP and how it works, and we're going to go over a couple of methods on how to kind of benefit from how the XP works, but this is something that you want to keep in mind just to make your whole beta experience a little bit more quicker, the ability to basically get to level 25 faster so you can experience all the skills and all that good stuff. First thing I'll note is a disclaimer here right at the beginning of the video, and that is, do not worry too much about going through and getting your build correct, or like gearing everything or making a mistake. At the end of the day, if you don't want to make mistakes, that's perfect. I have a couple videos talking about some mistakes that you may not want to make and some builds that I recommend. If you don't care about making mistakes, just do whatever you want, right? There's totally fine any way you want to play the game, but if you don't want to make a mistake, I do have a couple of videos on the channel talking about the beta. Now, diving into the first thing, if you guys have any questions about something specific, there's going to be timestamps in the description down below. Progress carries over. This is very, very important to mention. So if you are playing this early beta and you already pre-ordered the game because you're super excited like I am, then any progress that you make in this beta will be transferred over to the next beta. Obviously, it's a beta, so it'll be wiped after that. But if you're curious and you want to divide up your time between this week and next week, where you want to play maybe Necro or Druid, you could actually level up to 25 and actually start saving gear for those other classes if you want. This is actually really, really cool for those of you that are more interested in Necro or Druid, so you can get a head start and experience more time with those classes specifically. Now moving on to the XP, let's talk about monster XP and how that works. So similar to, Diablo 3, we're going to be killing a ton of monsters. That's like 99% of the game, right? And monsters give a base experience that goes up as you level up. It's pretty similar to most MMOs, right? The higher level that you're fighting, the higher level monster that you're fighting, the more XP it's going to give. But that is extremely, extremely important to note. Also, elites are going to give a little bit more experience. But what's also important to note is that if your level of your character is equal to the monster level, you're going to get a normal amount of experience. However, if that monster level is below your character level, you will actually get a reduction in experience, up to, potentially 100%. I have not confirmed if it's 100% based on what I've experienced, but I've seen, potentially like 10, 20, 30% reduction in experience as far as we've leveled up and started hitting the same monster, right? So it's super, super important to note that, right? And if those monsters are higher level above, then you're going to get more experience, right? This is super, super important to note as well, because that means that you're going to want to hunt down higher level monsters and give you up to, I believe it's like anywhere from like 15 to 30% experience. Again, I don't know the exact numbers. All I've been able to consume is, cross-referencing all these different pieces of content coming out. And it looks to be that you could get roughly about 30% additional experience if they're higher level than you, pretty significantly. We'll see exactly, but I do know that there is an experience boost once you fight higher level monsters. Super important to note, because you're going to want to hunt down those higher level monsters. The second thing is the difficulty XP. Now, I've went over this in a previous video, but the game has two difficulties on beta: the base difficulty and then the veteran difficulty. The veteran difficulty is going to increase the damage that the enemies are doing and their AI, it looks like. However, their health pools should remain the same. And what this means is, if you're going to go to the higher difficulty, yes, you're going to have to avoid dying, right? Because if you die, it's not necessarily anything super bad, but you will lose time, right? Because you die. Or if you're playing hardcore, you obviously don't want to die. But it's only going to lose a little bit of time, right? Because you're going to have to go back and get your, in the same spot and start farming monsters. But if you're at least somewhat confident, or you're at least, willing to try it, you're going to get a 20% experience boost by going to that difficulty. So I highly recommend that you go ahead and try it out. And if it's too hard, you can always go ahead and head back to the beginning difficulty, which is the base difficulty, which is no harder, no more bonus XP, etc. The later difficulties like tier 3, tier 4, those types of difficulties don't unlock until level 50. So don't even need to worry about that. Then we have group experience. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because group experience is actually really insane in this game. First off, any XP that you kill or any monster that you kill is going to give that XP to every party member. Doesn't matter if you hit it once or if you hit it 0 times. This is pretty similar to most MMOs as well. But what's interesting, and this is very different about this MMO, is that all experience is shared zone wide. That's crazy. And as far as we know, the difficulty isn't going to increase like Diablo 3, right? When you're in Diablo 3 of instance-based, you're doing a GR or whatever, it's all scaling. But in this game, since it's an open world, you're actually going to get basically 4 times the XP, which is absolutely crazy. And if you're someone that, I don't know, you've been playing for 2 hours, like I'm gonna go make some breakfast or some lunch or whatever, you can actually sit in town and leech XP. This is something that also is pretty common in some other MMOs where you can just leech XP, have someone boost you. So if you're playing with a group, you got a couple friends with you, have them farm, and if you guys can take rotations, if you wanna go, I don't know, take a break or whatever, you guys can level each other up. This is super, super nice. On top of that, if you are relatively close, I'm not exactly sure on the range because I have not been able to confirm this, you're actually going to increase the amount of XP based on how many party members you have nearby. So if you are running a dungeon together, you are going to get bonus XP, but the optimal way from what I found is to split up and then hit different areas around the map and level up that way, especially with the events, okay? Then we have some bonus experience bonus experience buffs, such things like the party bonuses, as I mentioned, some elixirs, although I'm not 100% sure if we're going to get access to that, and potentially, campfires. Although again, we don't know if they're going to add another campfire because the campfire that I've seen is in a different town, so I can't confirm on that one. Then we dive into the actual activity within the game. Okay, first and foremost, the most important thing is to do events. Do events. Now, the events on the map will be depicted by an orange circle. If you guys have played Guild Wars 2, this is pretty common. Orange circle means event. Run to it and do it, okay? When you finish events, you're going to get massive experience, potentially crafting materials, potentially a bunch of gold, some equipment, and all that good stuff. And again, these things can be used in the second part of the beta next week. So if you want to save up some gear and all that stuff, this is the perfect way to do it. This is going to be the best way to level up. After that, obviously, if you have a group of 4, another really good way is to really just split up across the map and farm monsters. That's it. That's really all you need to do. Because of the way the zone experience work, group farming is going to be the best. Now, if you're a solo player, again, you could do those events, or you can run through and do some of the quests. If there's some quests in the starter area, again, I'm not 100% sure on whether or not they're going to give us access to a ton of quests or just a couple. We'll see when we actually get the beta, but quests are always a solid way. And then lastly, dungeons. Again, open world exploration is kind of the name of Diablo 4. So finding dungeons and just going through it is totally fine as well. But again, if you're looking for the fastest way, it is going to be group farming all across the map and events. Those two are going to be the keys. So definitely take advantage of those if you guys have them available to you. With that being said, hopefully I'll see you guys on my stream. Hopefully you guys are going to be playing the game. Again, it's 9 a.m. PST tomorrow, or today rather, because I'm recording this video the night before. But today, March 17th, be sure to check it out and have some fun. If you guys have pre-ordered the game, if you have not, you guys got to wait to the next week, and hopefully you guys have some amazing fun there. Let me know what class you're playing in the comment section down below, and if you're excited about it or not. Thanks for watching, and if you guys want to check out more Diablo 4 content, be sure to sub, because I'll be here for a while, and I'll see you all for tomorrow's video.